Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional, they're motivated.
With Tech to the VO stars. George Whittam, founder of Source Elements. Robert Marshall, international audio engineer. Darren Robbo Robertson. And Global Voice. Andrew Peters. Thanks to Tribooth. Austrian Audio. Making passion heard. Source Elements. George the Tech Whittam. And Robbo and AP's international demos. To find out more about us, check theproaudiosuite.com.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite thanks to Tribooth. Don't forget the code TRIPAP to get $200 off your purchase, and Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Now, talking about hearing things, apart from the normal things that I hear that don't actually exist, I also got sent to review a pair of these. It's the new Audio-Technica R70xA headphones.
Aw, that's cool.
Jelly.
Yeah.
I'm jelly.
I've been using these for about 2 weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There they are.
It's an open back headphone. It's very,
Open
very
back
light,
headphone.
isn't it? Isn't it a very lightweight?
Like it's what they say, 199 grams.
Something that you could probably wear for long periods of time
At
comfortably.
a very long time, very comfortable. And it's funny because they actually sound not dissimilar to the Hi-X 65s.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar.
So they're both going for a very clear, open sound. They're both open back, right?
Yeah. But it's also the frequency.
Let me ask you something, though.
Very similar. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you say you can wear them for a long time. I've got a pair of KRKs they look round to me. Is that right? They're round?
Yep, they're round.
See, I got a pair of KRKs that are round, and I find them really uncomfortable for long periods of time because the Austrian Audios have like the oblong shape.
Yeah.
I find the round really uncomfortable. Are they bigger though? Like some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller.
But I agree. And in fact, I saw some dude reviewing them and made that comment. I don't know why they're still persisting with round cups as opposed to ones that sit around your ear.
I guarantee they're more comfortable than these Audio-Technica headphones.
That looks more like a head clamp.
Right? It's just a very thin pad that presses on your ears.
Oh, I can see that would be really
It's like a torture chamber or something.
They've really evolved over the last 40, 50 years. These are from like 1975, these suckers.
Oh, really?
They sound
that's
amazing, though. They're called the ATH2s. Great sound, like super flat and clean, but we can't wear them. But so these I'm aware of these. I tried on the R70x's, and I was really impressed with them. But they changed the headband design. I thought the headband on the old one was really cool because it had two sort of like hands or fingers, and they would rest on your head like a suspension.
Yeah.
I thought they were super comfortable, but there must have been something about that design. They removed it. It must have been too complicated to build. Maybe they broke. Maybe they were fragile. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I saw those online when I was looking around, looking at what people had to say about these, and just for my reference. But I find them really comfortable, and it's really simple. It's just a magnet on the strap, so you can adjust it, the strap itself, it's hard to show this really, but where it actually magnetizes there, so you can thread it through, and then it's kind of, really cool. It is. I mean, I have made the comment before that I probably wouldn't throw these in a bag and take them with me.
It is interesting though when you look back to these being the the grandfather of those. Yeah, great grandfather. They're keeping that same kind of design ethos many years later. Just a big metal spring band with with this part in the middle, right? But yours
a
is
strap over your head and a speaker on each ear. That's pretty revolutionary for headphones, really, isn't it?
I mean, they're still doing it all these years later.
But anyway, I think these are really, really cool. I mean, they're not cheap. They sort of price point is pretty close to the Hi-X 65s, maybe $20-$30 cheaper.
Right.
But they're just a few details about them. They say the frequency is 5 to 40,000 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
470 ohms.
It's really high. That's pretty high.
Seems a lot, doesn't it?
Have you plugged them into the Passport VO yet?
No.
Can it
you
drive
really should.
it? Yeah.
I would love to hear how they sound on the Passport, because the Passport has one hell of a headphone amp.
It does.
I mean, it is legitimately a good headphone amp.
Yeah.
It has got a great sounding converter and a very good amount of output, like a very hot output. I bet it could drive those cans pretty well.
Because that's really the 470 ohms. You need something really serious amp to drive those cans. Because
the Passport could probably actually drive a pair of cans. Just put some soup cans.
But I looked at the difference between the HiX65s, and the HiX65s, their impedance is 25 ohms.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, low.
That's low. That's actually very low impedance.
It is very low, isn't it?
They'd make a good microphone.
Yeah.
You're right. It's so interesting that there are so many philosophies on what should be the right impedance for a pair of headphones. I always remember headphones that were for pro studio use being high impedance for a very specific reason, that they could hook 20, 30, 40 pairs to one amp and it wouldn't overload the amp.
It wouldn't parallel out. Yeah. It wouldn't divide a bunch of times. Yeah.
Right. Like if you have a 600 ohm headphone and you have 40 of them, what's the math on that? What load will it put on the amp?
600 divided by 40, I believe.
Is that what it works out to be? So
I think so.
By 40,
because when you had two 8 ohm speakers in parallel, you're making your amp drive 4 ohms.
Right. So if you had 40 pairs at 600 ohms,
that's 15 ohms.
You have a 15 ohm load on your amp, so you're still quite in the safety zone for most professional grade power amps. Can go down to 4 ohms, some
4
even down to
ohms
2
or so.
ohms.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you had 20 pairs of Sonys that are like 20 something ohm, right?
Yeah. Then you're down to 1 ohm. And basically,
that's a dangerous load.
That's like infinity, right? It's like divide by 0.
Infinity, yeah.
Yeah.
Which amps do not like. They will not tolerate that for very long.
They'll get very hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, another thing with a super low ohm load impedance headphone with certain amps is what they will do is they'll really expose the flaws, the self noise of the amp a lot sooner. So like I have a pair of in-ear monitors that are extremely low impedance, right? And you plug them into just about any amp and you hear hiss. You just hear
really?
Like all the time. And it becomes annoying to use because you hear all that noise. And like if I plug them into an iPhone with one of those headphone adapters, you have to have it on like 1 click or 2 clicks up from off for a comfortable volume.
Great, because it's it's like driving nothing.
Yeah.
It's so low, it's just like any little tiny voltage and you hear it.
It's the weirdest thing. So there's something in the philosophy of design where higher impedance headphones provide, it's easier to, I don't know, they're more accurate in some way. And I don't remember what the reason being is, but sorry for this rat hole about ohms.
Yeah. No, it's interesting though, because I looked at that and I don't understand all that stuff.
I think there's also something about the dampening that they do, and like the lower the ohms and like it like the what do you call it?
Factor?
Yeah, the damping factor is less, so you get more distortions in the low end. I think. I believe.
Oh, in the low end, yes. I think I've heard something about that.
Or it ends up reflecting back into the amplifier, like pushing.
So do those have? I would imagine, but do they have removable cable?
They do, and this is the really weird thing. It's got the 2 cables.
Yeah, that's another hi-fi audiophile thing.
But it's weird though because
equal length.
Yeah, but the weird thing is they actually, well, that's true, but they don't mark on the cable which one is left and which one is right. And I thought that was really strange. But from what I've found out since is that the cable actually works it out for itself. I don't know how that happens, but
how the fuck does it do that?
I have no idea.
You lost me there.
That's like, Ethernet cables that will self-cross over on the input. You don't have to. I don't know how it does that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really strange because I was looking at it going, well, how would I know which one's left and which one's right? I mean, I know the cups are marked left and right.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, how come the cable is not marked?
That's really odd to me.
Does it for itself. It does it inside the cable. The cable recognizes left and right.
Would there be a little chip in there or something, Robert? Would that make sense? Or is that extravagant for a pair of headphones to have a little chip in there just to do that?
I mean, I'm reading it right here.
I don't know.
SonarWorks website says the Audio-Technica ATH R70X headphones, the X's too, the prior version of these, right?
Yeah.
Feature a unique cable design that automatically assigns the correct audio channel regardless of how it is connected. Each ear cup has a 2.5 millimeter jack that accepts the cable's identical plugs, ensuring that the left and right channels are properly oriented no matter which plug is inserted into which ear cup. I don't even understand why they would have spent the engineering dollars on.
I was going to say,
cheaper to make a red and a.
Put this another way, right? Say you're a chief executive at Audio-Technica, and you're looking at this and you're going, how much money did we spend on R&D to figure out how to do that when all we had to do was put a red and a black and go, here, just line the colors up? I'm sure someone at upper management at Audio-Technica must be going, whose idea was this, please?
Well, also, is it very, very obvious as to which is left and right on the headband, the cups themselves?
No, that's because if you look at the Austrian Audio headphones, which I have,
does it have a big L and R on the inside of the cup?
You got the big L and R.
Yeah,
which is really cool. I mean, exactly. I really like that. So there's no mistake. But this one, because and that's the other thing. Normally, left is where the cable comes out. But when you've got two cables, and if you're in a dark booth like mine, you can barely see it. I don't know whether you can actually see that.
That is so odd to me.
Yeah.
There you go. It's tiny.
You can see that.
Tiny.
Again, that's what makes it seem more like an audiophile product than a professional product. Because professional products, they don't care how it looks so much. It's really more about function.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like
that makes me a professional too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert.
You were definitely professional grade, Robert.
That's right.
Robert Marshall, professional grade.
Professional. Yeah. Doesn't matter how it looks.
Oh, that's funny. Well, that's pretty sweet, man. So at the end of the day, they're priced commensurately with a lot of the other stuff that's of a similar
sort of those like
vein.
$400
open back. Was it 350 to 400 range? For that?
In there somewhere. Yeah, US dollars. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So look, I've used them for 2 weeks. I said, and I really, really like them. And they're because they're so light, you can wear them all day. It doesn't feel like you're wearing anything. And they're not important. They're not that sort of like a head clamp like the ones you were showing before.
So, on the other end of the spectrum, I was just at VO Atlanta. We can talk about that later, but they had there are a few pairs of the Sennheiser HD280 headphones. Total head clamp and super warm and bass heavy. Like weirdly so. Like it kept making me think that the microphone had something wrong with it, or it was crazy. And then I listened to it back on my headphones after I recorded, and I was like, oh, okay. That's what it sounds like. Weirdest thing, because those are like pro headphones. They have the word pro in the name, HD280 Pro. I really don't understand what those headphones are for or who they're for. Do you know those cans, Robert? You worn those?
HD280s, yeah. The Sennheiser, like most of the Sennheisers are actually pretty high end. I think I have a pair.
Well, high end, yeah, but I don't get the tuning on them at all. Very, very.
Usually the Sennheiser open. Are those the open back ones?
No, they're sealed. Back? They're sealed.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I don't.
They're very sealed. I mean, they really. I think they're for tracking. I think that's what they were made for. Is they're made to be in the studio for tracking. You know, like for the drummer and for the musicians. But I'll tell you, I've never seen any in a pair. I've never seen a pair of those ever in a studio. I don't know about you.
I've seen those. Yeah, those aren't the really good. I don't think they're as good as those are like beat 'em up studio headphones, not the ones that have like the
They're still not cheap though. They're still $100 headphones. They're not like
but
headphones.
I don't know them very well, but I think I'd probably rather have a pair of Sony.
Not a fan. I can tell you, I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Somebody else had a pair of AKG. Oh, somebody else, Vincent had a pair of AKG 371s.
Yep.
And those were really
those.
Nice.
Yeah, he likes those
really
a lot.
Nice headphones.
But right there at the show, the stupid he's just like all day long on and off, and next thing you know, right there, hairline crack. So hairline crack. And next thing you know, it's like it's not quite on as well. And then you're like, what's wrong? And he looks at it and he's like, there's a fucking hairline crack here. And,
his AKG snapped during the event?
In the event from because he's like, I got in the airplane with them and they were good. And then somewhere during the day, because it's just like on and off and enough of that.
Yeah.
And, that's just crap. And then you look at the way those AKGs were made and there's nothing. It's all one fucking piece. You can't service it. And then he goes to the AKG booth and they gave him a pair to borrow. And, AKG did not take care of him, but he took care of himself. And I won't tell you how he did it.
Right.
Yeah. I think I know how he did it.
I think I know too.
Little exchange. Back to these though. Once again, I like your story of the AKGs. I wouldn't be traveling with these, but they are very nice to have in the booth.
Yeah. They're what I would call affordable audiophile grade headphones.
Yeah. And when you compare them to the build of, like the Austrian Audios, I mean, these things are seriously well built.
Those are heavier. Yeah.
They're really good.
The Austrian Audios look and feel more pro grade simply due to the manufacturing of the parts, how it's built, the weight of them. They feel like they're going to stand being manhandled and sort of abused in a studio for years and years.
And the good thing about the Austrian Audios, you can, they all fold up and everything. So if you're traveling, you've got them all folded up. And
the ATs do not fold whatsoever, huh?
No, they don't. They only move barely at all. And that's just
again, audiophile. They don't travel with them, They're for sitting at home and in your listening room.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how well the Austrian Audios are built. They can withstand Toby, my 6-year-old, who's recently discovered Dad's MIDI keyboard and a sampler in Pro Tools, and he's been mucking around in here. And the way he treats my headphones, because I can't let him muck around with the speakers on, so I put the headphones on him, and the way he treats them, it's pretty rough, and they survive. So they're pretty well built.
Which AT? Which ones do you have, Robbo?
I'm on the 50. Oh, me? No. The Austrian Audios.
The Austrian Audios. 55.
Sorry. Yeah. Did I say Audio-Technica?
I thought so. Yeah.
Sorry if I did. I meant
you're on
Austrian
the 55s
Audios
right now.
Yeah, I'm on the 55s. That's
and
what.
The ones that you had, Andrew, just now were the 65s.
65s.
He's on the
55s in the booth and 65s.
But are the 65s open back?
Yeah.
They don't look open back. Fold them up again.
No, they've only got a little sort of the grate on them. The grill on them is really fine.
Yeah.
I see.
Probably.
That's they looked closed. They look closed on video. Yeah, but it's really fine. It's not like a grill.
I see it. I see the driver.
Yeah.
Wow,
I can tell you that my Sony V700s did not survive Sage dropping them on the floor. Right? Yeah.
Oh,
but
really?
Then I still have all the parts to fix them, and I've not gotten around to soldering it up. But at least you could, because it's like the pivot angle thing, and like little plastic shit broke. That's the thing about all these headphones. Like, quit making them out of plastic. That would just solve.
I know, right?
I don't think anything's made better than these Beyers, man. Well, maybe the Austrian,
but that's metal. That's a metal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a metal yoke.
Yep.
It's strong. It's tough as nails, but not foldable.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that gets used and abused in a studio,
these got the metal yoke as well.
That's good. Yeah. I like that they have a metal yoke.
It's all steel, metal.
Yeah, lots of metal and aluminum and very lightweight materials. Seems very well made.
Yeah,
for something that's light.
If there's one thing that gets used and abused in a studio, it's headphones. Seriously,
absolutely,
get smashed around.
You know what? My silly analogy is headphones are of the studio. Headphones are the shoes of the studio, right? They fit everybody differently. Everybody has an opinion on what they like or what fits better. They're an insanely wide range of prices from $30 to thousands, right? And they wear out. So they're shoes.
Well, they don't really wear out.
You can't have enough shoes. Like, you can always get more shoes. You can always get more headphones.
The only thing that should wear out is the earmuffs, and that's really it. Everything else, they break because of crap designs and designs that you can't. Like, that's why those Fostex RP20s, like, you could fix every piece of them. Those are definitely used.
Look how gross the ear pads are. They're brown and gray.
It's funny,
but you can replace that.
I was talking talk about things getting abused in studios. I was talking to one of the Beatles engineers, a guy called Richard Lush, and he was talking about the way they used to handle all the microphones during the 60s in there. He's like, "Oh, can you pass me the U-47? Yeah, catch." They'd be throwing them across the studio and stuff. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Jesus.
He was saying, I can't believe we used to do that. But anyway,
I really can't.
Yeah.
I thought they treated a lot of stuff like super special. Like when they wanted to use the Fairchild, they'd roll it in on a cart, and it was like a big deal if they wanted to use the Fairchild. You had all the technicians
and the dust coats. They used to have the grey dust coats. The guys used to come in and set the gear up. But as soon as they were out of the picture, it was just the engineers and
I
see. Talent.
There's the technicians there you go. And there's the engineers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's funny.
Well, I can't wait to get my parent, Audio-Technica. I'll send you my address.
I'll give you my opinion if you send me a pair.
That's correct.
Yeah. We're in love. I love you.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to Tribooth and Austrian Audio. Recorded using Source Connect. Edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Voodoo Radio Imaging with tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, theproaudiosuite.com.